Good day, one and all. This is Kathy, the Scrap and Cracky Gardener, welcoming you to this episode. Now, today I thought I would make a very quick, hopefully, graduation card. If you get a last minute graduation invite, you have no idea what the school colors are, and you just want a basic card that could be for either a guy or a girl, this is kind of what I'm going to go with today. And I'm going to make a black card. This is 10 inches by 7 inches, scored at the 5-inch line. Fold it and crease it with your bone folder. Going to be a horizontal card today. And I don't need both of these pieces of gray. I have a piece of gray cardstock that is 6 3/8 by 4 3/8. A piece of white cardstock that is 6 1/4 by 4 1/4. And I used GinaK's Master Layouts 8 for this, but you don't need them. I gave you the measurements unless you want that real pretty stitched edge, and then you'll want that set. And then for the inside of the card, a white 6 3/4 by 4 3/4. And that's just going to go right on the inside, and I'm going to glue that down right now. Get that over and this part of the card done. Now you could stamp a sentiment if you have anything on the inside you want here. This is usually where I just write a brief note and sign my name. You could write a long lengthy note if you wanted to, and if you're a really long note writer, then put a piece of white on the inside top also. Okay, now I'm going to use for this white, this is GinaK's Starstruck stencil. So I'm going to get my grip mat, and I washed it, so it's extra sticky now. This is the Waffle Flower grip mat. Well used, well loved. And I want to stencil these stars on here. And I'm going to use a GinaK Soft Stone. Just grab my gray brush. And I want this to be medium. I don't want it to be too light, and I don't want it to be too dark. I want the stars to show, but just kind of like as an afterthought in the background. Not really a prominent feature of the card. That's looking good. And I'm just going to move this over a little bit because this stencil only does part. It doesn't fit the whole piece when you're doing a 5 by 7 card, and that's okay because I'm going to cover most of this up anyhow. Like that. Just a very light pattern in the background. Down with the stencil mat. I'm just going to wipe it a little bit with my tidy towel. I just ran this under some warm water. I didn't even use soap. Just used my fingers to get off any glitter or random pieces parts that were on there. Okay, now I went ahead and cut out. I have these dies that are the shadow and the inside letter. And the inside letter is stitched. I cut the inside out of white and the outside out of black. You can use any dies that you have because this is going to be a last minute card for you. So whatever you have will make work. And I'm just going to glue these together. I want to put these on. I'm going to do one bit of stamping on here, but I want to get these glued down so I can see where I need to stamp my additional word. I don't know if these are Simon Says letter dies. This is one of my pre-purchases before I was really needing or wanting to pay attention as to whose dies they were. Just use what you have in your stash. These, the white letter is about 1 1/4 inches. So the black shadow is just a little taller than that, not quite 1.5 inches. I've got a little ball of glue on here. I'm going to get that off real quick. Now with the size of my letters, I didn't have enough room to write graduate or congratulations. So I just went with grad. And so then I'm going to shorten, because I put congratulations on here, but then I thought, you know what? I think I'm just going to shorten that to congrats, depending on the size of my stamp. Now I'm going to use one of these. I got this. This is from Creekbank Creations, and I want these down on the card. This is a 3/16 inch, so I'm going to use this to place my letters down. I'm definitely going to get my money's worth out of this purchase. This is the, I forget what this is called. Lay it straight every single time, the straight and steady corner tool. It's just lightweight metal, and you just line it up with the edges of your card and then do your placement. And so far it has worked really well for putting on the fronts of my card. And these letters, I want to get them as close together as I can. Just line that up. And this tool is working out. Doesn't it surprise you? You get a graduation invitation in the mail and you go, oh my gosh, they're graduating already? I just remember when they were in diapers. All right. And pretty cool. That's nice and straight. That was a 3/16 inch. All right, now I'm going to make a mortar board, and I use GinaK's Master Layouts 3 for this. Now these squares, the outer one is 2.5 inches, and the inside one is 2 3/8, and it just gives me the stitch die. Now in the dead center of this one, well, as dead center as I can get, I'm just going to take a sharp pointed tool and poke a hole. I have this tassel that I got for my crocheting. If I had embroidery thread, pardon me, I would just make a tassel out of that, and then you don't have to go to this extreme. But I'm just using what I have on hand. So that's a tassel, and these came from Amazon. And then just a piece of jewelry wire. And I'm going to poke that right through the hole, just so that the kind of lays relatively flat. I'm not going to poke it all the way through, because that big tassel needs to swing. And I'm just going to take this jewelry wire and curl it up. It's a very thin wire, so I'm just going to bend it over like that. And then I'm just going to take a piece of Scotch tape and put it on there. Then I have a brad. This is where it's going to get a little tricky. I'm going to try cutting the backs off of these. Just have to grab my tool. And this is the wrong color. I don't happen to have a black brad, so once I get it on the card, I will alcohol ink it. And cutting these brads are not easy. In fact, that one's ruined. I guess I'll try. I've got a silver one. You know what? No, because it does not. These brads do not fit through that. Oh, this one does. Ooh, my other one didn't. It's just going to look kind of wonky. So I'm going to pull my wire down a little bit. Get that in there, just like that. Imagine that. If I had to try the silver ones first. Now, I want this to be black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my black alcohol ink marker and cover up this silver You could leave the tassel silver if you wanted to. I just want this to all be black. I always have to do things difficult the hard way. And if it doesn't stay black, it will give it, and it should, because alcohol ink will work on metal. It will give it more of an aged look. Kind of like an antique. There we go. We've got it in black. Make sure nothing silver is really showing. Doesn't matter if it really does. All right. Now that's going to dry because now I need to put my words on here. I'm going to get out my stamping platform. That's the longest part that this card will take to make. And I've got my words here. This congrats is from GinaK. I don't remember what set this one came from. And congrats. So if I put my mortar board over here, kind of want that to be right centered above that. And I'm just going to stamp this with my VersaFine Clair Nocturne. And I think I grabbed my old one, so this may take a couple of inkings. Yeah. I tend to use my stamp pads until there's no more ink left in them. But I think I have my new one in the box for the craft show, because I had a craft show last weekend and I sold quite a few cards. And I have another craft show this coming weekend, so I just left all my supplies in one. I sold a lot of Mother's Day cards this past weekend. All right, that looks good. Okay, now we're about ready for me to put this card together. All right, now I want to get out that 5/16 inch from Creek Bank, and I want to put these two cards bases together. And I would normally pop this up, the gray part, but since I have that large tassel, I don't want to add a whole bunch more dimension because it may not fit in the envelope. This one, I don't need the straight and steady corner tool on because GinaK is just, these two little pieces just fit together so perfectly. But on this one, I'm going to use my tool. Just line up the two corners. And I thought when I got these that I might even have to tape it down. Not really. I haven't yet. Now watch, this will be the card where, oh yeah, you should have taped that down. But just kind of hold it in the spot and stick this right in the corner. And it's straight. Imagine that. Oh my goodness. Okay, now these, I'm going to put just a little bit of dimension behind them. Not really dimension, just I'm going to use glue dots to put these two pieces together because of the thickness. I might have to add a couple of little foam dots. I'm going to try this and see if this is going to be enough to hold it on here. And I'm just going to line up these two squares. Oh yeah, the dots, the glue dots will help with that. All right. Now this I do want to pop up a little bit. And I'm just going to use some foam dots. There we go. These are just from Hobby Lobby. This is why I'm not adding any more height. This is a non-mailable card, so I could have made it higher, but I was afraid that it would not fit in the envelope if I add too much height. And then I'd have to make an envelope, which I've honestly not done for a 5x7 card. I should. Well, that one doesn't want to come off. There we go. Okay, now this I want to angle. So I'm going to lift my card up. And it's kind of go up above and off to the side. So it's going to be like hanging over the D. Okay, get that down there. Now to just bling it up a little bit, I'm going to add a little bit of diamond stickles. I'm going to try this on some plain paper first. I've not tried this color. Let's see if I have a scrap of white. I should have on this table somewhere. Let's tear a piece of that paper. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay, so I'm just going to put a random one in the center of one of these little stars, and I'm just going to make it little tiny. Little tiny. Kind of like I'm splattering it, splotting it, but just randomly putting one as random as I can go in a star, just to add a little bit of more. And this will be a little bit of bling. And so if this is a boy that gets this card, it's not going to be an in-your-face bling. Okay, that's it. A very quick and simple card. You can use any stamp sentiment. If you have any alphabet dies, it'll work. If you have embroidery thread, you can make your own tassel. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.